One Northeast for the betterment of the people of the Northeast. That was the agenda that brought together Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad Sangma, Tipra Motha founder Pradyut Manikya Deb Barma, former BJP MLA from Nagaland Mmhonlum Kikon, and young political leader from Assam's Dima Hasao, Daniel Langthasa, on the same platform in New Delhi recently. The gathering was built as an attempt to forge a unified regional front which is aiming to highlight the issues confronting the 8 northeastern states. A committee has been formed in this regard, and the committee is preparing a thorough report about the future course of action of the political entity that will be formed. Though the unified platform will be political in nature, it was made amply clear that the front would not fight any party and instead amplify the collective voice of the region. Conrad was quick to stress that the front will work together and not against the central government. Now, the unified front and the explanations given by Conrad and Pradyut raise several questions. The first and the most important question that arises is about the fabric of representation. Why weren't there any representatives from Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram and Manipur addressing the media that day? Why only Meghalaya Chief Minister, the titular king from Tripura, a young leader from Assam and a former BJP leader who quit the party earlier this year, the only prominent faces? Conrad, of course, told journalists that they would approach other northeastern parties and leaders to expand the unified front. But why didn't they consult other northeastern parties and leaders before making the idea of unified front public? In fact, none of the regional parties in Meghalaya were consulted, and that includes the partners of Conrad's Meghalaya Democratic Alliance. Also, the absence of the most prominent leader from the Northeast, Himanta Biswa Sarma, raises the question whether this front is more of an anti-Himanta stance than an anti-BJP move. The presence of Pradyut in the conglomeration is also incongruous. Of course, in recent years, Pradyut has championed the causes of the tribals, but the royal family in Tripura was the main reason why tribals in the state were alienated from their land and rights in the pre- and post-colonial period. In such a situation, the question arises whether Pradyut can take up the causes of the northeastern tribals without any prejudice. One of the journalists at the gathering raised a question about NEDA, or the Northeastern Democratic Alliance. NEDA was formed in 2016 mainly to strengthen BJP against the Congress in the Northeast. It was led by Himanta. NEDA's primary role was to ensure electoral gains for BJP, and it fulfilled its purpose. The new unified front envisaged by Conrad and his team was more about people's causes than political gains. Even so, couldn't the platform created by NEDA be revived and utilized by the United Front for greater good? NEDA had all the prominent northeastern leaders and state heads of the region under one umbrella, and the new United Front could have utilized this strength to further its cause. There is also a Northeast MPs Forum, and it is not clear whether the new United Front will work together with this forum to make people's voices heard in the power corridors of Delhi. Meghalaya, Tripura and Nagaland are going to polls in 2028. In this scenario, the question arises whether this new United Front will be in the fray. Conrad, of course, made it clear that the individuality of parties such as NPP and Tipra Motha will be maintained in the electoral politics. If that is so, then how come this united front will take up people's issues during elections when parties present people's manifestos? Conflicts are bound to arise if this arrangement is followed during elections. But apart from these issues, the most troubling thing about this new entity is its constant push for a common identity, that is the Northeast. The region is not one common entity. It is as diverse as the rest of India. The misconception has already hurt the socio-economic aspirations of the tribes in this region. Now that the tribes here are gradually establishing their identities on the national forum, this push for a common identity for the region will reverse the trend. Of course, the region has some common issues and demands, but each state is unique with its unique problems. For instance, the problems which the locals in Arunachal Pradesh are facing because of a hydropower project, the refugee crisis in Mizoram, and the long-standing demand for ILP in Meghalaya. Can this proposed unified front speak in one voice on issues as varied as these? The concept of a common platform for the northeastern region is promising, but only if it grows from genuine consultation, inclusivity, and respect for each state and its uniqueness. Unity without representation risks becoming symbolism, and symbolism without a structure risks irrelevance.